And now Firouzja strikes in the center with d5. And you can see now we have a proper center battle getting on. c4 by Gukesh, and guys, this is the Catalan setup beginning. He is putting immediate pressure on the d5 pawn, so to defend this, Firouzja opts e6, okay, g3, and guys, this is the Catalan fianchetto. The idea is to put the bishop on g2, from where it can be an absolute monster, looking all the way to the queenside. And now some takes happen, bishop to g2, and now you can see what he's preparing for. Okay, so Firouzja develops his knight on d7, which indicates that he either want to go to c6 or maybe b5 to challenge the center. And after that, Gukesh finally castled c6. And you can see now the move, either b5 or a5 is coming. So a4, stopping Firouzja from advancing the pawn, but a5, okay. And guys, now Gukesh played a weird move, knight to a3, and clearly you can see this knight on a3 is going to attack the pawn, but also the knight on a3 is not a great square, it's on the rim, and Firouzja immediately goes for bishop takes a3, rook takes a3, and finally Firouzja decides to castle knight to d2. And since this pawn is attacked, so Firouzja defends with knight to b6, okay, and after that e3 by Gukesh, forming a solid pawn chain. And now Firouzja brings his rook to e8, setting up the e5 break so that he can open the center. Queen to e2, Gukesh puts pressure on the c4 pawn, but okay, so now queen to b6 by Firouzja, preparing for rook to c5 so that he can attack the queen, and also putting massive pressure on the c file. So that's why Gukesh calmly brings his queen to f2, trying to avoid any further pressure. Rook to d8, and Firouzja brings his other rook into the game, and finally you can see all of Firouzja pieces are completely activated. The rooks are dominating the open files. Okay, so here Gukesh now pushed e4, trying to exchange the queens so that he can reduce some pressure, but surprisingly even Firouzja goes for that because he wants to get into an endgame where his rooks are far more active than Gukesh pieces. Okay, now Gukesh recaptures with the rook, which is obvious. Now rook to c5, attacking the bishop, so bishop to e3. Okay, but rook to d1 check, bishop to f1, rook to c4, controlling the fourth rank. And guys, look at this, the bishop on f1 is completely boxed in, it cannot move, and I mean that's absolutely brilliant coordination by Firouzja. Rook to d2, and you can see Gukesh here desperately wants to exchange the rooks, but Firouzja just doubles the rook on the first rank. Look at this, both rooks on c1 and d1, and Gukesh is now looking completely hopeless. Rook takes d1, so that's why he decides to exchange. Rook takes d1, king to f2, getting away from the pin. And now Firouzja improves his knight with knight to d7, and you can see where this knight is going. Rook to c3, And you can see he's trying to become active. Yeah, so basically he wants to activate his rook. And now Firouzja plays king to f8. And guys, that's a slight inaccuracy. I mean, this king activation is fine in endgames, but in this position there are probably more active moves available. For example, black can bring this rook to b1 so that he can target the pawn and break some coordination. Okay, so bishop to e2 by Gukesh, he just attacks the rook, so rook to a1. And yeah, so basically now just take a look at this position. Now this rook is targeting the a4 pawn, and guys, as you can see, the rook on that this rook to c3 might be the best option for white, so that he can exchange this very active rook of black. But yeah, so basically, but f4 by Gukesh. The idea is to push f5 in the next move, which you can see creating space on the king side and activating the bishop on e2. Okay, yeah, so on e3. Okay, so now rook takes a4. Firouzja immediately captures the a4 pawn. f5, attacking the bishop, and Firouzja brings it back on a2. Yeah, so Firouzja brings it on a2, and now it's better for white to consider the move rook to a3, which I already mentioned that so that he can exchange this active rook as well as also target this bishop. But instead he goes for bishop to d3, allowing Firouzja to play rook to b4, threatening to capture on b2 with a check. So to defend this, Gukesh just undevelops his bishop, and after that knight to e5. Firouzja just jumps into the action, attacking the bishop to c2, and you can see now Gukesh is just trying to stay solid. But guys, here Firouzja goes for a clever move, a4. Firouzja advances the pawn, but what's so special about this move? Okay, so before that, what will you play here as of white? Now let's suppose if white tries to attack this pawn with b3, which obviously looks obvious, trying to stop the pawn. But guys, here Firouzja sets up a beautiful sacrifice. I mean, in this position, what will you play as of black? And guys, in this position here, the best move for black is to sacrifice the rook with rook takes b3. What a move, guys. I mean, let's see what will happen if white captures with the bishop. And guys, first of all, a takes b3, and you can see now this b3 pawn is unstoppable. So to stop this, let's suppose white decides to bring his king closer to the pawn. So but b5, rook to c5 if he tries to attack our knight, but knight to c4 check, king to d4, b2. And to stop this promotion, white is now forced to capture this b2 pawn with bishop takes b2. And you can see finally black successfully gained his piece back. And now look at this position. Here black has massive material advantage. I mean, if rook takes c6, then bishop to c4. And yeah, black ends up with a passer on the b file. Okay, so in the game, after the move a4, okay, so let me go back. So that's why after seeing this all complication, here Gukesh goes for king to e3, heading towards the queen side. And now there are many moves which black can consider, which is like knight to c4 check, and also bishop to b3, trying to exchange this active bishop of white. And also the move b6 is possible so that he can just march, but instead Firouzja goes for f6. He defends the knight again, and guys, as I said, the move b3 is possible. Guys, b3 is not a bad move. I mean, b3 is the only move, but the main thing is you have to calculate all this stuff which I already showed you, that which is the rook takes b3 sacrifice. But obviously this is not so easy to find. Okay, so Gukesh also missed this move again, and he goes for king to e2, and after that Okay, so now Gukesh goes for bishop to b1. He tries to be defensive so that he can, stop this push. But a3, Firouzja just advanced. And after he captures on a3, in this position, the final move by Firouzja is bishop to c4 check. And in this position, Gukesh immediately resigned. This is because, let's suppose if this game continues like king to d1, but rook takes b1, king to c2. If he tries to attack the rook to a1, okay? And if king to b2, what about rook to a2 check? King to b1, rook to e2. And when the dust settles, you can see Firouzja, look at this bishop. In the next move, bishop to d3 check is coming, and look at the positioning of this rook. It is placed perfectly, which is eyeing on the king side. Okay, and also look at the pawns of Firouzja. They are just killer. All of these combinations are enough to, shatter the white king. Like this video, and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.